Hi, this is my lesson for charity. Stop, Phoebe. Anyway,
You looked at me.
I'm just going to be teaching her some basic ballet. And so we'll start out by warming up at the bar and maybe a little not at the bar, but mostly at the bar. So the first thing will be proximity. I'm going to be a little closer to her, but make sure I'm in front of her so that she has a prototype and she can tell what I'm doing with my body movements and she can copy me. I will also probably verbally assess her schema. If she knows any dance, I want to find out if there's any like decay or extinction there, and find out if her dancing experiences have been positive or negative instances. Also, I think that this is a good thing to teach her because it's within her zone of proximal development. I don't think it'll be too hard for her to learn or too easy. Again, I can change my lesson plan based on what is in her schema already. I think as for the psychomotor domain, this is going to be a little bit more demanding because it is like very technical and physical. And so she'll have to use her brain a lot. And there's also French terms that go with that. So yeah, cognitive domain there. Affective domain, again, I think it will be within her affective domain and she can effectively carry out the moves. Same with motor cortex. And her cerebellum will be working really hard because that controls balance and coordination. As for her cognitive development, again, I already kind of covered this. She's there. She's at an age where it's not necessarily the best because her plasticity isn't as great in her brain. It's not as plastic. It's usually better for younger children to learn ballet, but honestly, at her age, it's still fine. She is in the formal operational cognitive stage with Piaget. So again, not the best prime age for basic ballet, but also not bad at all. So with warming up, I'm going to be teaching her kind of be scaffolding the moves that will come in later, and that will help prevent future misconceptions and overgeneralizations and undergeneralizations of certain moves, and it'll give them defining characteristics instead of just like correlational characteristics of like what is a releve versus an eleve or a coupe versus like sur le coup de pied. I hope to generate some situational interest. I don't think this is a very good transfer to church dances, for instance, but hopefully she'll find it interesting and I can find a way to get her interested. I'll try to use more informational language versus control language, and my instruction will be more direct instead of expository, since it's a lot of copying what I do and her showing me what she's learning from what I do. She's in stage 5 of Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages. That's ego identity versus role confusion, because she's an adolescent. Yay. So I'll have to keep that in mind. She may be a little egocentric. Great. That's all good. Been there. I've also taught this age a little bit before. Reinforcement, I'll have to help her self-esteem a little maybe with warming up and giving her positive, possibly negative, I doubt it, verbal reinforcement. I also watch for any learned helplessness. I don't think she will display any of that, but you never know. I think she can self-regulate herself pretty well. I'll kind of monitor that, but I think she'll be fine. Again, she's at a pretty good age. Her self-efficacy will probably be high. She'll probably have like autonomy and be effective in what she does. I'll also, during especially warming up, as she's learning new things, be watching for cueing of anxiety, see how if she has like high state anxiety versus low state anxiety, or any debilitating anxiety versus facilitating anxiety. I can also kind of assess her hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy, and assess her individual physical state. I assume she'll be coming to me well fed and well taken care of. If not, there are other problems that we need to talk about, Brother Wilson. But yeah, if she's like hungry or stressed, that will definitely have an impact on her learning. Also, I want to make sure that what goes into her working and short-term memory can go a little more into her long-term memory for the next steps, which I will be teaching her more complex steps in the center of the room, away from the bar. So our proximity will change a bit, and we'll be looking in the mirrors more, I think. So yeah, visualization. I don't think she'll get too tired because, again, I can demonstrate and she'll show me, and we can just talk about the move, and I can explain the French, and I can explain the visual and the more technical, muscular part of it, and that will be part of visualization. So especially in this part, I'll be displaying mastery learning and be a prototype again. I don't think I have to worry much about personal theories or personal fables. She's a little old. Personal fables, I hope. Again, we may have other issues to talk about. As for personal theory, she may develop some with dancing, which she'll probably just show by doing it wrong. And then I can help with that. Or if there's interference, especially with French terms, if I ask her to repeat something, it might get confusing. But yeah, I can also assess how well the transfer was from the bar instruction to the center when we're actually using the little steps we learned before into putting them into actual dance moves. She, especially at an egocentric kind of age, will have a bit of an imaginary audience. I hope she doesn't get too embarrassed or shy or anything when she and I are dancing. I can also see at this point if there's a failure to store or failure to retrieve either like words or just dance moves, because that happens. And her simplified memory system. Again, that will be working. I don't know what to say. It will, obviously she'll be sensing through like sight a lot and verbal cues, all that, into her working, and hopefully her long term into like muscle memory. And that will be part of myelination. Obviously, that's a big part of dancing. And that will, previous concepts will help her already be ready for a little more coordinated for learning more and adding on. And at the end, I will have a little bit of a Kohlberg versus Gilligan moral development assessment. I'm not entirely sure the question yet. It might just come up in the class. If not, I'll come up with something. It's a little hard with dancing, but we'll see. We'll see. Also at the end, I hope that she adds a little bit of being a dancer to her self-concept, and maybe that can over time become a bigger part of her self-concept, up to her. But I also hope that she can find a way intrinsically or extrinsically to be motivated to learn more dancing and to maybe keep dancing. And yeah, again, overall, I will be looking at possibly the different hats that we're using if we're talking. It's going to be a little bit more logical and not really with the red hat per se. And I hope that no hot cognition will be triggered by anything I say or do that might be odd and uncomfortable. But yeah, that's my lesson plan. We're just going to do some basic foundational ballet and then move on to the center and learn a little bit slightly more elaborate moves from the basics. If she knows a little more, we can go on, and I'm prepared to like teach her more advanced things if she starts catching on better or easier or whatever. If it's already within her schema, then that'll be swell. So yeah. Yay.